Ah, shit. I was here running my damn mouth. They ain't realize I in the background myself. I ain't put myself in the broadcast. What going on, people? How y'all doing? Good afternoon or good morning. I ain't quite sure where everybody be. You know, I want to thank y'all for listening to my usual casual nonsense. Please don't come here expecting no goddamn in-depth boxing talk. I am not. I am not no boxing expert. I don't know these real esoteric fighters. I just don't know them. So don't come expecting that. My name is Khan, the Iron Khan. And today we want to discuss Mr. Mauricio Suleiman. Shout out to Red Glove Militant, who I saw first with this information, then I had to go look it up myself because I couldn't believe Mauricio Suleiman had the gall to be talking about Deontay Wilder fighting Dillian Whyte. You know, Mauricio Suleiman had Dillian Whyte as a number one contender for years. People like to talk about the number of days. I think it was like 1,000 days or something, but it was like years. And at no time did Mauricio Suleiman think that Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder would be a good fight. But suddenly he comes out on a Sky Sports interview and is saying how it would be a good fight. You know, if Whyte wins the Povetkin rematch, it would make him the interim champion again. So he would regain his number one status, etc., etc. And my guy, Actual Facts Santos, in the chat. Peace to you, Chief. Santos, if you want the link, let me drop it for you if you're interested. If you're interested, you could come on with me and let me talk about this here quickly. And had the man as a number one contender for the longest while. Deontay Wilder sending the man messages on social media or whatever, saying, I don't have to fight you for 2 years or whatever. I'm going to make you wait. You had Deontay Wilder man fans, the stands, all them talking about how, why Wilder, what's up, ERF? Peace to you. Peace to you. If anybody wants to get in, hit the link quickly. You know, I'll know I don't stay on this thing for long. And you have a situation now back then where it was, why should Wilder fight Whyte? Who's Dillian Whyte? Blah, blah, blah. Wilder, kings don't chase peasants. Kings chase king. I want to fight Joshua, which he never wanted to do, really. So the peasant was Dillian Whyte. And for some reason, we have ERF Boxing. What's up, ERF? How you doing, man?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Kong? I'm good.
All good. Is this Santos?
Yeah, man. What's up, Kong?
All good, all good. So we're talking about Mr. Mauricio Suleiman here having the gall to come talk about how he would like to see Wilder versus Whyte and all this foolishness. Let me just finish what I was saying, because I want to give a brief background. So you had this man as number one contender for years, like 3 years or some crazy shit like that, right? And they kept putting people like Dominic Brazil and Bermain Stavern and all these people above Dillian Whyte. Dominic Brazil was number 4. I remember when Dominic Brazil and Dillian Whyte were supposed to fight for the actual mandatory. Somebody dropped out and they automatically made Dominic Brazil the mandatory. And that's who Wilder fought, scrapping the Dillian Whyte versus Dominic Brazil fight. They tried to make Dillian Whyte versus Luis Ortiz, not for the mandatory, but for a second mandatory. And I see Mauricio Suleiman saying how, he would like to see the fight, etc. But, the WBC are not matchmakers, they're not promoters. Well, you could have fooled me when you made Tyson Fury mandatory, when you didn't have to, for the second fight. You could have fooled me when you're making people like Dominic Brazil mandatory to fight Deontay Wilder, when you removed your ban off of Luis Ortiz, when he was banned for PEDs, by both the WBA and the WBC. The WBA upheld the PED ban, but somehow the WBC chose to lift their ban to enable Luis Ortiz to fight Deontay Wilder. It's a lot that goes into this. So, Mauricio Sulaiman has a lot of gall calling for this fight. ERF Boxing, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's I don't know what he's going on about, to be honest, because it's crazy how when Dillian Whyte was after this fight and he was just about to get this fight called and he had an adverse finding, he didn't get banned by boxing by anyone but the WBC. The WBC instantly removed him from being #1 challenger for the title without any proof that he actually tested for a banned substance. They removed him straight away. They did the same thing with Povetkin when Wilder was supposed to fight Povetkin. Instead of waiting, they removed him straight away from the rankings. Now all of a sudden, Wilder doesn't have the belt, and Dillian Whyte is his next fight is to become mandatory for that belt again. All of a sudden, Deontay Wilder needs to fight Dillian Whyte. No, Deontay Wilder's fans, I've seen it today on some of their things. Oh yeah, it's a great fight. I remember when all of them were saying, "No, Deontay Wilder don't need Dillian Whyte. Why would he fight Dillian Whyte? Dillian Whyte haven't done anything. What's Dillian Whyte done since then? For it to be a great fight, not a great deal. He's lost to Povetkin, but all of a sudden it's a great fight."
Exactly. Great point. Great point. Santos.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is Skank Davis. Skank Davis. Yeah, man. Deontay Wilder, man, and versus Whyte. That's as much as that fight needed to happen. That's not gonna happen right now. And you know what? I think it's just him crying wolf. Just he's selling wolf tickets. I think if it is gonna happen, it's not gonna be in the U.S. It's gonna be out there. If it did, I mean, I don't know. I just think, poor Dillian Whyte, man. All of a sudden now you got to give this guy attention. I mean, he's gonna rematch. Dillian Whyte's supposed to rematch Povetkin, so you know what I mean. Whatever happens from there, but I can see Dillian Whyte beating Povetkin, but does Dillian Whyte even want that fight still after, because after he beats Povetkin, he'd be a mandatory, right?
That's my point.
No. Apparently he says, Mauricio said he'll be interim. Remember, the WBC doesn't necessarily make you mandatory even if you're #1 ranked, even if you're interim. You're still not mandatory. They have to say. Let me share the article here so you can see the excerpts from what he said.
While you're doing that, Colin, that's my point exactly. Dillian Whyte is expected to go fight Povetkin, beat Povetkin, do all the hard work by beating Povetkin, just to give Deontay Wilder another shot to get a title. Like Dillian Whyte's been waiting years for a shot at that title. He's been in that #1 spot for years. And Deontay Wilder refused to give him a shot. Now he's supposed to go beat Povetkin, and instead of wait for his shot against AJ or Fury, whatever, and have takeover fights or whatever it is, and keep his place, now he's supposed to fight Deontay Wilder to give Deontay Wilder a chance to get the winner. No, if I was Dillian Whyte, I know Dillian Whyte will just say, no. When I was calling you out, when you needed to fight me, you told me, oh, I don't have to fight you. Hey, he don't have to fight you. Let Deontay Wilder do it the hard way.
Here we go. So, one second. My goddamn phone's ringing again. Hold on. Y'all go ahead, talk if you want to. I have to take this phone call.
All right, no problem. Yeah, man. I mean, I think I agree with you. Dillian Whyte should, it's expected that. For me, I think he's going to beat Povetkin in this rematch.
Yeah, the thing is with that is Dillian Whyte should have never really took the Povetkin fight in the first place. They say that's what bit it, because Dillian Whyte was in place for that to be the mandatory for WBC. Right now, if Dillian Whyte didn't take that Povetkin fight and just fought, I don't know, anyone in top, just somebody else, he'd have beat them, and Tyson Fury would have had to fight him before he'd fought AJ now. But instead, Dillian Whyte wanted to prove himself, carry on fighting top opponents like Povetkin, like he did with Joseph Parker. I know Doughboy he fought, but he likes the fact that he's constantly testing himself against decent opponents. He didn't want to sit around and fight a nobody and then go into a title fight. He wanted to fight a decent fight in Povetkin. Then that would see him straight into a Deontay Wilder or a Tyson Fury fight. Instead, he took the Povetkin fight, got knocked out, and now he has to rebuild. Why should he have to rebuild and Deontay Wilder don't have to rebuild?
Hold on.
Why does he have to fight two?
Right.
Hold on. So Mauricio says, after being asked about Whyte versus Wilder to determine the next mandatory, he says, yes, that could be a very interesting matchup. Yes, I like the idea. Of course, the rankings are by merit. We'll see what happens on March 27th. If Whyte wins, then he becomes interim champion. He would be in a very privileged position, and it's just a good time for boxing. Unfortunately, we are not promoters, we are not matchmakers, but this could be potentially a very interesting fight. There is a great talent at the heavyweight division, and I'm sure that we are up for a great ride in the coming years. We have so many combinations that can happen. Let's see if he says anything else about Whyte. No, but that's all he says. So he says Whyte will be interim champion. He didn't say mandatory, he said interim champion. So the mandatory, he's saying, could be Whyte versus Wilder for the mandatory. It's like, how much people does Dillian Whyte have to fight to get a WBC shot, bro? Tyson Fury didn't fight nobody for his mandatory shot. Who did he drawed with Wilder, and it made it mandatory over Whyte? Why, I don't know.
Wilder never fought anybody to get a title shot, and he got one against Deverne. He never fought anybody, but he got his shot against Deverne. This is my point. Why is Dillian Whyte supposed to now fight Povetkin to be interim champion, and then expected to fight Deontay Wilder to become mandatory? I don't understand why he needs to do that. Deontay Wilder needs to go and rebuild himself against somebody else, and not just get one fight and get thrown back into the mix. He's been protected for long enough as it is, Deontay Wilder.
I agree.
He's been protected.
I completely agree with you. I don't get it. Santos, you wanted to say something, bro? Sorry.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I think it's unfortunate that Dillian Whyte been treated like this for this long, for this many years, you know, and then he's expected to just kowtow. That doesn't work like that, you know. If I think what I think should happen is, if Dillian Whyte beats Povetkin, he's the man. He's the man, and like it was said, you know, can't beat a dead horse. Wilder needs like at least one or two comeback fights, man, other than a Whyte. You know what I mean?
Saying. Lisa Bale says, I thought the winner of Povetkin Whyte was a mandatory. That was the first fight, apparently. But apparently, since Povetkin beat Whyte, somehow, if Whyte wins, he can't still be mandatory. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I could put money on Deontay Wilder ended up being mandatory challenge number one in WBC rankings for mandatory for the next shot. After Joshua Fury, the first fight happened, Deontay Wilder will become mandatory without fighting anybody of note. He will become mandatory.
Yep. But Toby Bartlett says, why did the WBC order Whyte versus Wilder just before he goes into fight week? That's the thing. They haven't even ordered it. They're just saying it's a great fight. It's a great fight. But they shouldn't even order it. This is ridiculous. Dillian Whyte should get his mandatory status by beating Alexander Povetkin. That's what should happen. And that's it. Deontay Wilder lost.
It's crazy that Povetkin wasn't even mandatory challenger. When Povetkin beat Whyte, he didn't become mandatory challenger. Mauricio came out and said that White was going to be a mandatory challenger, but because he lost the fight, there's no longer a mandatory challenger.
Ridiculous.
So Povetkin didn't even get a mandatory shot.
Let's not forget Tyson Fury had a draw with Deontay Wilder in the first fight, and they made him mandatory in the second fight, which Tyson Fury said they didn't have to do. Remember, Tyson said he would fight Dillian White for the mandatory or the diamond belt.
Yep.
Mandatory. Yep. And he said, nah, don't worry about it. The WBC turned around, skipped Dillian White, and made Tyson Fury mandatory. It was like, what's the purpose of that? What's the purpose? You know what I'm saying? So when they're talking about they're not matchmakers, they're not promoters, you could have fooled me. Yep. You could have fooled me.
Yeah, but the WBC, they've been doing this, though. They've been doing it. We've seen it in the lightweight division where they've just been doing it with Devin Haney and Lomachenko. You're not matchmakers, but you're making it very easy for these matches to happen when you want them to happen. The Lomachenko-Teofimo fight, you made that very easy to happen because of what the bullshit you pulled with a franchise belt. You made that easy, very easy. The Dillian White, you made it very easy for Dillian White to be stripped straight away. They said there was an adverse finding. Instead of waiting for the results, instantly you stripped him from his mandatory status. He was like, nope, Deontay Wilder don't have to fight him anymore. Somebody else is mandatory now. The WBC has been doing this. They're quickly, and everyone's noticing, they're becoming the worst belt to have in boxing at this moment in time. That green belt is becoming the worst belt for boxing.
Santos, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. I couldn't agree more, man. It's really bad. You know, you look at those rules, they're just worthless. It's just worthless rules, regulations that they have. You know, because they're not solidified because obviously they're not following them. So what's the point? You know, it just makes you go like, what's the point of even having this body here sanctioned? You know, it's worthless now. You know, it's like an afterthought. Like, all right, you say you're not the matchmaker, but you're low key making the matches.
Exactly.
Plus you have to take part because you're the sanctioning body and you order things. So within itself, that was an oxymoron. So I don't know.
My thing is, how is Deontay Wilder always seem to have a leg up with the WBC? The man had a draw. How much bites of this cherry is this man going to have? You had a fight with Tyson Fury, you had a draw. You had a second fight with Tyson Fury, you got blitzed. Here you are again, still in striking range of the belt. How? It's like they always have Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz somewhere close to the top 3 in the WBC. How? They dropped it. I think Dillian White. Where is he ranked now? Like number 4 in the WBC? Let me see.
Something like that. Yeah, like 3.
They dropped Dillian White all the way down in the WBC ranking. Let me see if I can find it. It's let me see.
Shit.
Bro, Dillian White is number 6 in the WBC.
6. Yeah.
Number 6. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Hold on. Let me share my screen because I want y'all to see the WBC rankings. Here we have Tyson Fury at the top. Povetkin, interim champion. Wilder, number 1. Usyk, number 2. I'm not sure what Usyk has done to get number 2. Maybe because he was undisputed in cruiserweight. Ortiz, who, I mean, his best thing is losing 2 title shots for WBC. He's still number 3. Andy Ruiz, number 4. Joe Joyce, number 5. Dillian, number 6. How is this justice, bro?
I told you, Mauricio don't like Dillian Whyte. They can't do. They can't like Dillian Whyte. That guy will never get a shot at that title. The only way he gets a shot at that title is if the undisputed champion or unified champion decide to fight him.
This is, I mean, you can't tell me Joe Joyce. All Dillian White has been WBC silver champion, WBC this, and you can drop him for one loss against Povetkin down to number 6.
All Dillian Whyte's wins are better than every single one of those guys' wins. Apart from Fury and who else is in there? Yeah, apart from Fury, Dillian Whyte's wins are better than all of those guys' wins. If you look at his resume,
I agree.
He's beaten Joseph Parker, Oscar Rivas. Yep. Who else? I can't even think now. But he has better wins than those guys. Chisora twice.
Man, it's I don't know what it is with Dillian Whyte and the WBC. I know Dillian Whyte was pursuing the WBC because he wanted to fight Wilder for the belt. But man,
it's crazy.
You see, part of me, I feel sorry for Dillian Whyte when it comes to the WBC, but Dillian Whyte had the option to fight AJ and just get rid of that WBC thing and go up for title shots. He's had the opportunities for title shots against AJ while he's had the belt. So it's a catch-22 where I do feel sorry for him because he has been done over by the WBC and Wilder, but also you allowed that to happen yourself because they already proved there wasn't really trying to give you a shot at that title. There wasn't forcing Wilder to give you a shot at that title. AJ was there saying, well, come and fight me. Oh, no, it's not enough time. I'm not fighting you on this week's notice. I'm not fighting you on this. Oh, you know what? I can feel sorry for you somewhat, but then there's a point where I'm like, nah, you let it happen to yourself. You let it happen, and yet you still, Mauricio's just come out and said this, and you're still fighting for the belt. After that ranking, you're still fighting for the belt. You're going to pay sanctioning fees for an interim title where you're never going to get a shot at that title.
I agree with that because
the only way he gets a shot at that title is if AJ's got it. If AJ becomes undisputed, that's the only way Dillian Whyte fights for a world title.
Yeah, AJ will fight
WBC title. Yeah, AJ would fight him, and that's the only way. That's the only time he would get a WBC shot at that WBC title, because Fury ain't gonna fight him. If Fury somehow beats AJ, he ain't gonna fight him.
That's right. That's right. In case you're just joining us, man, we're people in the chat. We're discussing the comments by Mauricio Suleiman in the interview with Sky Sports. I shared the Zone link that has a summary of it, where he suggested that if Dillian Whyte beats Povetkin, he might be interested in seeing Dillian Whyte fight Deontay Wilder for the mandatory position. I am of the opinion that is wrong. That it's another way for the WBC to make it easy for Deontay Wilder to be in some type of contention, always around the belt. What's up, Sa? Sa, you there?
Yo, what's up, Kong? Sorry, I had to close the other stream. I was getting double audio. But yeah, what's up, man? How you doing today? I see, we have another WBC scandal going on. They're late to the party once again. About what? 1,000 days late or something like that?
Yeah, about 1,000 days late, bro. Mauricio has the gall to talk about he would be interested in seeing Wilder fight Whyte for the mandatory if Whyte wins. Now, really, bro, really, what you think about
that? Personally, I mean, I love the fight, but it's like we were just saying, it's way too late. You know, I think we all wanted Whyte versus Wilder way before any of this, you know, before Undisputed was even mentioned. But I doubt we'll get it. I think they'll find a loophole because I honestly think that Whyte's style is bad for Wilder.
My homie Sa, what up, homie?
Actual facts. What's up?
Not much, man. Yeah, man. Go ahead, Con.
Yeah, I just think it's disappointing all around, and it show the WBC. Then he says, "Oh, we're not matchmakers, we're not promoters." Let me tell you something. The WBC has done their own promotion and they've done their own matchmaking when they feel like it, according to who they like. I think ERF is right that they don't like Dillian White. I don't think Mauricio Suleiman is fond of Dillian White. I think he's upset that Dillian White really doesn't maybe jump at whatever to fight Ortiz and these people. Why is Luis Ortiz always in some top 5? He's like number 3 or something in the WBC. How? Losing twice in a title fight keeps you at number 3? How? And Dillian White is number 6 in the WBC. Number 6.
I don't even see what win Luis Ortiz has to put him there. Never mind losing.
Huh. Good question.
This guy, it was so-called the boogeyman of the division, and nobody wanting to fight him for some reason. He's never done anything for nobody wanting to fight him. I've not understood this. It took him 10 rounds to stop Dave Allen.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
It took him 10 rounds to stop Dave Allen, and this was supposed to be this monster who's knocking people out. You knocked out a cruiserweight in Brian Jennings.
There you go. There you go. So I don't know what else to say about this OW. I don't like the. Yeah, of course I want to see the fight, but the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, of course, is being disingenuous. He's of course trying to massage the actual issue here, and you know, I really wish Dillian White gets some justice, man. As ERF said, the only way Dillian White gets a shot at that WBC belt is if Anthony Joshua has it. That's the only way. And it's unfortunate. I don't see how all of a sudden him beating Povetkin is suddenly not enough to get the mandatory spot. That's crazy. Deontay Wilder has had a draw and a loss. He's still the number 1 contender. How?
You know, I could have sworn I remember Suleiman even saying, even with the Povetkin loss, if he wins the rematch, he would be, you know, the next in line. So it's kind of disappointing to hear this now.
Yeah, it is disappointing, but it's not a surprise. I'm not remotely surprised with this at all. Like Con said, Deontay Wilder always seems to be in and around the conversation for a belt. Oh, he's going to get the winner of the Undisputed. What has he done to get the winner of the Undisputed? This guy hasn't even got another fight lined up. It's now over a year since he fought. He's not even got another fight lined up. No conversations about a fight, but yet he's in line to get the winner of the Undisputed fight. Honestly, it's crazy. It's just crazy, mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and we know, if he's going to really wait this long, he's going to be in no shape to compete for, Undisputed. If he's taken all this time off and he gets like the immediate shot afterwards, so I don't know. They'll probably make a Bermain Stavern 3 or something, and get everybody sold again.
Yeah, but if that is the case, he does get who is he going to beat to be a challenger for the Undisputed fight, the winner of that? Who is he going to fight? He ain't going to fight anyone better than Povetkin. He probably ain't even going to fight anyone better than Arreola, who Ruiz is about to fight.
Terrible situation. Yeah. I want to talk about that, but I also want to put a little dagger in the heart of the people who've been hating on Devin Haney about his belt. So Lomachenko comes out in an interview and he says, yeah, Devin Haney has the actual belt. Devin Haney has the actual real WBC belt. What he had was a franchise. No, that's not really part of the discussion, but I really wanted to just share that because I know some people are still trying to shit on this dude, Devin Haney, for having the actual belt. Lomachenko is also talking about he wants to fight Haney, but he might have to wait until 2022 when his contract has expired with Top Rank. So it seems like Lomachenko is already thinking about life after Top Rank.
Yeah, Top Rank seems to they seem to be burning the fighters at this moment in time. First, it started off with Crawford, where Bobby's saying he's losing all this money on Crawford, and he's not gaining anything. Then the TO situation. Now Loma's coming out and saying that basically Bobby's stopping the Devin Haney fight, and he's going to have to wait till he's out of contract to get that fight. I don't understand what Top Rank's doing at this moment in time. It just looks like Bob has got to a point where he's like, right, this AJ and Fury fight signed. I'm out after this shit. I'm done. I don't really care about these fighters, because he doesn't seem to be promoting any other fighters at this moment in time. Like Teofimo, the whole thing he did with that's a great fighter, and you let him go. Terence Crawford's probably one of the best boxers in the world, and you're saying you're not making money on him. And now Lomachenko, who, in my opinion, he made the Loma versus Teo fight, and the winner was going to basically move on, and the loser he didn't really care about.
Yeah, it's interesting that he did come out and say that. I know that's, something that we knew. We knew that, the vacated belt was from Loma to Haney. So I guess it's good that he came out and said that. But again, it's like you said, if he's talking 2022, then, I mean, what was all this, back and forth we've heard for the past couple of weeks? So I don't know. Top Rank's not, helping anybody. That's for sure.
Another thing, don't you think by him coming out and saying that that Haney's actually got the real belt and Teo's not, the whole concept of ESPN and Top Rank saying that they've got the undisputed champion, don't you think that's a bit of a kick at Loma saying, you know what? No, fuck you lot. He ain't undisputed. I don't care about your business. I don't care no more. He ain't undisputed. Devin Haney's a champion.
Yeah, that is a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, that is like a low blow to Top Rank. But yeah, maybe he is looking towards the future and it's not going to be with Top Rank.
All these fighters are talking about going over to the zone. Hey, Canelo's come out and said he's with the best promoter in the world. All these fighters will end up over there soon, because Teo's talking about, his contract's going to be up with Top Rank. He's going to get out of that contract and try and work with the zone and Eddie. Loma's already worked with them before for a couple of fights, the Luke Campbell fight and Crawler fight. So it looks like Bob's going to start losing his fighters.
Well, I've already said, I've already outlined the fact that after that revelation that Todd DeBoer and Top Rank tried to rig a bid to destroy Teofimo's value in an open market exercise, any fighter at Top Rank should be looking at their future like, is that what y'all are doing? So if I go to purse bid, is this what you're going to do to me? So I think every fighter should start looking at Top Rank kind of sideways, and how do I get out of here? So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is, man.
I feel that's what's happening, because this has come out of the blue from Loma, by the way. Like, Loma normally never talks. There's normally never anything from Loma. So for him to come out and basically go totally against Top Rank and ESPN, who he signed with, it is out of character for him. So maybe he's trying to force a move away from Top Rank, because it sounds like once his contract's up, he has no desires of re-signing with them, because he's saying, oh well, if Bob can sort something out, then I can fight Haney. If not, I'll have to wait a year in 22 to fight him. And that tells me he has no desires of re-signing with Bob. And isn't Crawford's contract up in, I think, August, October time? Crawford's contract's up as well.
Something like that. But yeah, man, look, it's two very interesting things, and I just want to say about this whole Deontay Wilder thing to finish it off is that I don't know if there's a way for Dillian Whyte to fight for nothing, because the IBF is now locked up. He was in the IBF and he turned down the Pulev mandatory fight. and I think he was highly ranked in the WBO, and then he turned that down, all for the WBC. And then now he's trapped over there. So the question is, does Dillian Whyte, if they order Deontay Wilder as a mandatory, should he accept it, or should he say, no, you have to make me mandatory now? What should he do, in your opinion?
In a boxing standpoint, I still like the fight. I still generally, it's a fight what I'd like to see. But if I was Dillian Whyte, I wouldn't feel inclined of giving Deontay Wilder and the WBC satisfaction. But as a boxing fan, I actually like the fight. I generally do like the fight. I liked it when they was talking about it before, and I like it now. But it just feels like Dillian Whyte is the only fighter that has to jump through 6 or 7 hoops before he gets a title shot. Or could he put himself in place for to be a mandatory in another organization where he's going to get a title shot regardless against because he's going to be an undisputed champion. He could easily go maybe the IBF route and fight an eliminator against someone less dangerous to get a title shot, because we know the IBF, they honor their mandatories. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, that's very, very good words right there. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. But unfortunately, if Dillian Whyte, turns it down or says he deserves something else or he deserves an immediate shot, everybody is just going to say that, oh, he's ducking Wilder and he's been ducking Wilder. So he's he's going to be in a losing situation either way. But I mean, he's had to deal with that his whole career. So I think he'll manage it. But I mean, Dillian Whyte, he's a fighter, man. He will take that fight, and I think he'll take it on a heartbeat. And to him, it may be an easy fight. So who knows?
Santos.
Yes, it is I. I have returned. It is me, Loma Cristo Face. And yes, I must agree with all of you. And in my situation, I didn't have a rematch clause of, because of my my arrogance. No rematch clause. So, in the instance with Dillian Whyte, he has been crucified and mistreated and unfairly abused. And now it is his time to gain a title shot and forget about the Deontay Wilder and go his path to the championship. And in my case, I will defeat the Haney and the Lopez kid and his father, who's an adulterer. You know this.
What?
Listen, I must go now. I'm just kidding.
You're crazy.
I was joking. That's his joke. I don't know anything about them. Listen. Anything that was said on this program on Iron Kong is expressed by others, is not his opinion. It is solely theirs. There, I said it. And it's not mine. I was just joking. Listen. Anyway.
I see the WBC.
I'm gonna jump off. So,
peace, ERF. Thank you for coming on.
Peace. No problem.
1, 2, Kitty, you want to come through? If you want to come through, let me know, bro. I see the WBC has now said that the Linares fight is good to go, and the winner has to fight Javier Fortuna for the mandatory after that. Why has the Mauricio came out also and said that both the Haney camp and the Garcia camp both said they wanted to wait until crowds come back. So somebody was lying.
What you mean, like?
Mauricio said that they didn't order the Ryan Garcia fight, which it's gonna come right back to not being a matchmaker or promoter. They didn't order the fight because the Haney camp and the Ryan Garcia camp agreed that they wanted to wait until crowds came back. Why is that a problem for the sanction? The sanctioning body shouldn't care whether crowds are there or not, because they're going to make their money regardless from the sanctioning fees. So all of a sudden, you care whether crowds is there or not? You should just order the fight.
Yeah,
What do
Yeah,
you think?
and
it's fucked up.
You will not bring my name down. I have nothing against Dillian White. I just don't want him to have the WBC championship. That's it. That's it. I have nothing against him, and anything else would be racist.
Hey. Well, hey, yo. Toby says, Bill Haney said last night, Bob Arum told him he would only make the Loma versus Haney fight when they've left the zone. I mean, really, bro. I mean, really. Bob Arum has worked with Eddie Hearn on 2 separate occasions. Loma versus Crowler, Loma versus Campbell. What's this about goddamn Haney has to leave the zone to make a fight? What's this? Loma ain't moving no numbers on ESPN anyway. He ain't moving no numbers. He ain't filling up no seats. He don't have no belt, no. Man, I don't know. 1-2 kid, what's up, man? What your opinion on all this shit that we done talked about?
Man, WBC back at it again, man. They don't want that Dillian White to ever come close to that. They don't want to put their brand on Dillian White. That's all it is. That's all it boils down to. That's what it tells me every time this dude's about to become a Mando or anything. There's always some bullshit that comes up. Now they throwing, Wilder at him. I think it's just a shuck and jive and move, man. If he fights Wilder, the Wilder fight probably won't happen. And everybody else was saying, if he refuses to fight him, then he's ducking him. And they're just going to keep giving Dillian White, they're just going to keep giving him the runaround. I don't see him getting an opportunity at any of those titles, or especially the WBC. I just don't see it happening, man. They just don't want this guy to do what he's capable of, because they're afraid of what might happen if he pulls it off, And I think that's all it is, man. That's what it is. What more can this guy do? From the very beginning, this guy's been putting in the work, fighting the big names, scrapping it up, and then when he loses, it's like write him off. That's what we were waiting for. We were putting him in there with the big names, and all he's trying to do is, he's on some gangster shit. He's out there doing what he's supposed to do as a fighter, and the fact that nobody really likes this guy tells you everything you need to know. I mean, nobody wants this guy to succeed in any way, shape, or form. So we're watching a real fighter who wants all the smoke, basically getting the shit end of the stick. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, man. But at least we're getting undisputed.
When is this fight supposed to happen, though? Because Deontay Wilder doesn't seem like he's close to any fight right now.
Yeah,
he's not close to even a tune-up.
I think what everybody's saying. Well, hey, we can't fight till the crowds come back, like crowds, like profitable crowds, right? Numbers. If it makes sense, it's gonna make dollars. If that makes dollars, it makes sense. So, hey, it's all about the timing. So I'm thinking everything's at what? Places that are open, they're at what, 30% capacity, if that, maybe fitting, if that here and there. The crazy places are 50% or whatever. If they can get, I'm thinking they want it to 80% at least, capacity. Thinking maybe next year, middle of next year, 2022.
You telling me Dillian White has to fight Deontay Wilder next year for a mandatory shot?
Yeah, man.
Yo, the WBC with Dillian White is basically, fucking shampoo, condition, rinse, and repeat. It's like it's playing itself over and over and over again. You know what I mean? It's like it's not a surprise to me, man, that they're giving this dude the runaround. Every time he gets in position, they throw a killer in front of him. You know what I mean? After he's earned his way and did everything he needed to do, they throw somebody in there with him, and to stay busy because they stalling him out. He gets in there to compete, and then when he loses, he gets written off. Man, it's just the constant. He's gonna be that guy, man. He's gonna be that guy. He's gonna be remembered as that guy that never got there. But I just hope he's remembered for not getting there for basically the politics of boxing, because he didn't do anything wrong. You know, he's doing everything right. What about this man? Is there not to like? Honestly,
I don't
as
know.
a fight fan,
I don't know. I don't know what it is about Dillian White they don't like about this dude. But the truth is, I think every fight fan wants to see Dillian White and Deontay Wilder fight. But it's like, why is this not being brought up now? Why wasn't this like in the 1,000 days? Why wasn't this when Deontay Wilder was sending text to Dillian White, I don't have to fight you for 2 years and all this BS? Why all of a sudden is this such a great fight? And you see the Wilder stands like, oh, this is a great fight. This is an excellent fight. It's an excellent fight now.
it was, yeah, exactly. I think bringing him up now is, I think all the other talk that he was talking was just to save face, man, to stay relevant for his fans. And now it's a good fight like that. And there it is. Now it's a good fight, but it was Dillian White was somehow ducking him the whole time, and he didn't deserve it, and he was a whole bum. Now, fresh off a supposed knockout, right? The same narrative. Now it's a great fight. And to me, it is a decent fight. It's always been a decent fight. You know, I picked Wilder to pull it off, but why not give the man an opportunity when you got a title? Now you got nothing, and now Suleiman's throwing you in the mix because he ain't got nothing to lose.
If they could somehow put that on the undisputed card, man, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I still would want to watch the fight though. Even mix it up with it, you know, any of these guys, man. I'd like to see Ruiz with any of these guys. Not a fucking the nightmare, because that's what this fight is gonna be, a fucking nightmare. He's gonna beat the shit out of the nightmare, and I don't. Who wants to watch this next fight that Ruiz is in? I don't myself as a fight.
Are you saying you don't want to watch Ruiz and the great Chris Arreola, the legend Chris Arreola? What's wrong with you, 1-2? What kind of boxing fan are you? When you start watching boxing, bro?
Oh man, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't, man. Like shit. Like, what's the point of this fight, man? Does Chris Arreola, you know, are they trying to make up for lost time? Like, yeah, this dude deserves a real big payday now. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Arreola looks good beaten up in 4K in high resolution. So, you know, told you that before.
It's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, that's all I got, really. Anything y'all want to talk about to add on to this?
Sir.
We're getting a lot closer to undisputed. Oh, my bad, Essay.
Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead.
We get close to undisputed, man. A heavyweight undisputed has been some years, man. You know, yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna get undisputed at 142. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about that. You know, fuck these guys in these other weight divisions that ain't trying to get that shit going. We should start giving the money and the attention to the motherfuckers who's willing to make the shit happen. You know, who's willing to take these
this weekend? Virgil Ortiz, Hooker, or Cody Glowacki?
I got Virgil over Hooker, and I've never been big on Coley at all. So, but I got Hooker, man. I'll be rooting. I got Ortiz, but I'll be rooting for Hooker. I'll be rooting for Hooker though.
I see Black trying to get in, but I don't know what's up with this. Hey, Black, I don't know what's up with your thing. It says the device not connected or something. I don't know.
He must step his Wi-Fi game up.
Black coming again, man, because I'm gonna put up but I'm saying though, Loma Crystal face. Virgil versus Hooker. Okoli versus Galati.
Damn man, Coley. Well, first Virgil Ortiz and Hooker. I think I'm going with Virgil Ortiz by late stoppage. Between I got him in the 7th round actually. Well, not late stoppage. That's kind of early. So 7, maybe farthest it goes 10.
There he is. There's Black.
There you go.
Yes,
And
I
then
am with
Coley.
you. The weak
What up,
ass
Jay?
internet promotions. Your
Oh, and
brother
then
is
Coley.
on the road with the weak ass internet. What's going on, y'all?
All good. All good. Hold on. Sir, Sporting Advantage. This weekend's picks. Who you got? What up,
All
man?
right. I'm gonna go with well, yeah, first off, what's up, Black? But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ortiz by stoppage, but if it goes to the cards, I think I'm gonna have to go with Hooker. But yeah, if I had to lean to one side, I'm gonna go with Virgil. Now with Akoli and Glowacki, or however you say that, I've heard a lot about he's saying that he's gonna get in there and he's gonna knock Akoli out. I like what Akoli did in his last fight using his range. I watched his little open workout. He looked really good. So I'm going to go with Akoli, and I'm going to go with a stoppage. I think he's going to end up stopping him.
Got you.
And it's going
Black,
to set up for like a Breedis fight. My bad. Go ahead.
I got you. Black, did you hear any old conversation about Mauricio talking about he interested in making Wilder versus White a mandatory fight if White beats Povetkin? What's your thoughts on that?
He gonna make Wilder and White mandatory?
Well, he says he's interested. It sounds like an interesting fight to make White versus Wilder for the mandatory shot at the WBC belt if White beats Povetkin. What's your thoughts on that?
Mauricio is a sleazy serpent. You slithery mother sucker. When it comes to him, man, fuck all Mauricio. Shout out to Red Glove. Fuck all Mauricios. And I think I heard 1-2 Kids said that earlier. Man, we've been wanting to see that fight since Dylan White was mandatory. But you know, it's crazy, man. When we want to see these fights, you know, I guess it ain't hot enough. But then the dude will lose. Oh, that fight makes sense now. So I guess since Wilder got a loss, a brutal KO loss, that fight makes sense. But shout out to Mauricio, scumbag.
Damn. Hey, Black, so what's your thoughts also on the revelation that well, I think Toby brought it up and he said that and it makes sense because Lomachenko was on talking about Haney, that he wants to fight Haney, but he also said he might have to wait a year until his top rank contract is up in 2022. But then Toby came on and said that Bill Haney revealed that Bob Arum told them they will not make a Lomachenko fight unless they leave the zone. What's your thoughts on that?
Wow. That's crazy. Well, why? I don't know, man. So why would Lomachenko be responding and say he'll be ready and May and all that shit? And I don't know, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I never really even believed it when they said that it's a possibility of Haney and Lomachenko happening this time when Bob Arum wasn't interested before. He was, so why would he be interested now? And for them to go back after Haney after all of this time, it would be like, I would just be interested in the promo where they promote this as a WBC championship bout or what? You know what I mean? I would want to see how they would promote that. If Lomachenko would be like, yes, I'm excited to go after the belt. I just vacated and shit like that. And so, you know, man, as far as that situation, man, Bob Arum, he's full of shit, you know, and it's just for some reason he's played a big part in ruining a lot of undisputed matches. He's given us some undisputed fights, but seems like in certain situations when say like with the Lomachenko thing, it's like he wasn't interested in that. So as far as Haney and Loma, I don't think that fight gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. And then what was the other question you asked me? Y'all hear me?
Hold on. I thought Haplo was in here already. Haplo, you there? Is that Haplo?
Yo, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. We can hear you. Hold on. Black. So I basically asked you about the Lomachenko situation in terms of he was saying he might have to wait till 2022 to get out his Top Rank contract. So everybody seems to be looking for a way out of Top Rank or thinking about it at least. You know what I'm saying? So it was basically those two topics, and then we were asking about this weekend's fights. But hold on, let me get Haplo in. Haplo, what up?
What's going on? Good morning. Well, it's morning for me.
The chat.
In the West.
What's up?
What's up?
All good. Haplo,
What's up, Hap?
Haplo, you hear the conversations. You've been in here a while.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on anything we said? Anything?
Well, as far as the Suleiman crowd thing, I think that's a money thing, because the sanctioning fees are a percentage of the what the fighters make, and obviously they make a little bit more if there's a crowd. But I don't like the fact that he's holding up the fight for that reason. It's a selfish thing to do. I think they should have that fight. They should order it. I'm talking about Garcia versus Haney.
Haney. Yeah.
Then I think you went in on what was it, the Wilder thing, where they're interested in making it a mandatory with Dillian Whyte. I've always wanted to see that fight because I think Wilder knocks him smooth out.
Right.
So I love seeing knockouts. So I've been wanting to see that fight ever since Dillian Whyte started crying to get it. So hopefully that does happen. I want to see that fight. I think that's a good fight, especially to gauge whether Wilder's like diminished in his mental capacity after what happened with Fury. I think that's a good test for that. And then you were talking about Virgil Ortiz versus Hooker. I got Ortiz definitely by stoppage, probably middle rounds. And then the other one was, what was it? Glavnaki and what's his face?
Okoli.
Okoli, yeah. I like Okoli's story. I think he has a great story, so I sort of root for him. The fact that he was a fat dude watching the Olympics, and he was working at McDonald's, and he was fat, and he turned himself into a boxer and then made it into the next Olympics. So that's a cool story. So I'm kind of rooting for him in that one. I think he can do it.
Yeah, me too. I misunderstood what y'all was talking about earlier. I thought y'all were talking about that young kid who got his butt kicked and said that he's beat dude's ass. I didn't know that you were talking about Okoli. I misheard you guys.
You thinking of Broner? I beat that boy.
No, the young kid from New York. I'm not sold on that guy. You know what I'm talking about? The dude who said that he spanked dude's ass and he took a serious ass whooping. He ain't ringing a bell. We probably shouldn't stretch this because I don't know enough about the dude to keep it going. So we'll just let it go. But I just want to say that I misheard you guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I covered pretty much. Was there anything else, Kong?
No, that's basically all we were talking about. Just want to get your opinions on that. So Haplo is saying he wants to see the Wilder versus Whyte fight for mandatory. But my thing is with that is Dillian Whyte, apparently the Povetkin first fight was supposed to be for mandatory. He loses the fight. It's an immediate rematch. It's no longer for the mandatory. No, you're interested in making Wilder for the mandatory. Like, there always seems to be another step Dillian Whyte has to take to get a mandatory fight. How come?
I think right now because they're talking about the Fury Joshua fight. So I mean, and that's going to be 2 fights, right? So he can't really, even if he became the mandatory, he still have to wait for those 2 fights to get his shot, right? So I mean, I think they're just thinking in the meantime, in between time, how they can make a little bit more money.
They're not matchmakers, though. Mauricio said. So, why isn't he? Well, you're not Mauricio. You don't work for the WBC, so I'm just, thinking out loud. Why is it that Mauricio is even? Why is he not saying, no, the Povetkin fight is for the mandatory, and if Dillian White wants to wait, he can wait. But it's like he's saying that no, this is not for the mandatory. He has to take another step and fight Wilder for the mandatory. And I think Santos brought up a good point. He said Wilder not going to be ready for that fight until next year sometime. Wilder isn't even talking about a tune-up right now. Like, I haven't heard no Wilder fight news.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what possibly could be the reason, but I honestly don't know. I mean, it seems unfair to Dillian a little bit, but then again, does he really want to be sitting waiting for 2 fights? That's like a whole year, because whoever wins this first fight with Fury and Joshua, if that happens, then they get an immediate rematch, I think, right?
Yeah.
So then he'd be sitting on the sidelines, so I don't know.
Yeah, and you'd have to think Usyk's going to get, somewhere in there as well. So, yeah, you're right, man. It's going to be – we're talking a long time before this actually happens.
I got you. Oh, Haplo, what's your thoughts on Lomachenko coming out saying that Devin Haney has the real WBC belt?
I think he's right. I agree with him because the other 3 sanctioning bodies all recognize that belt. So, I mean, he's just stating a fact. That's all. We all knew that already.
Hold on. Let me share the tweet from Benson. Benson is the king of getting other people's information and just putting it up on his Twitter page. Let me just share it here so people can see what the hell I'm talking about. So here it is. Devin Haney has a real WBC belt. The one I got beating Campbell. They gave me a franchise belt. The real belt went to Haney automatically. He got his belt without fighting anyone. That's what he said on some Snow Queen LA, I guess, interview, whoever that is.
Well, the part he left out is he got his belt without fighting anyone because of me. Because
he forgot to say I dropped it.
Yeah, I think he's coming out, and which it was really no. He said no such thing prior to the Teofimo fight, so it's an arrogant move to just come out and say it now. It's a selfish thing. This dude is selfish. You know what I mean? I mean, it's clear as day. Why not talk about the shit before? Why bring it up now that you have no belts? Now that you're trying to get a shot, you're not going to get a shot at Teo right away. So he's like, I want that Haney fight. And then he probably brought it to Top Rank. And, Bob was like, yeah, probably not now. I got some other shit lined up. I'm trying to fuck Teofimo over. Let me do that first. You know what I'm saying? That's what we were looking at. We're literally witnessing this low-key bullshit behind closed doors. And it's all showing its face, whether or not they try to cover this bullshit up. We got fucking Dillian White, who's been getting the fucking shit into the stick for the beginning of the time. And, it's a lot of bullshit, man. The politics is really not doing, boxing any justice. So I think we should mainly focus on these guys that are doing it, these networks that are putting it on, and these divisions that are allowing these guys in these divisions where these guys are really willing to mix it up with one another, man. That's where our focus should be. That's where the money should be. That's what these networks and these promoters should be supporting. And the fans.
I agree with that. But that's all I got, man. Anything y'all want to talk about before I get off here? Anything?
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, Colin. Thanks for having
us on. Good show, man.
Peace to y'all, man. Peace to y'all.
Great show. Peace, Colin.
Thank y'all for coming on. Haplo, Crystal Face, One Deuce, a Kid, Sa, Black Pop through for a quick while he's on the road. LaRon, Shizbiz, Lisa Bills, Toby Bartlett, Boxing Lobsters coming from the Rafi channel. ERF Boxing was on earlier. I appreciate everybody. Ziggy Zane, Jordan Chiampani, all these people that came through in the chat. If I forgot anybody, I apologize. Y'all have a great day and take care of yourself, man. Peace.